It's Tuesday, February 5th, 2013. I'm Rim.
I'm Scott.
And this is Geeknights. Tonight, point-and-click adventure games. I can't believe we've never talked about these on Geeknights before.
Let's do this.
So what's up, Scott? You've been tantalizing
We should
me.
start the can't believe we haven't talked about these on Geeknights before series. 'Cause that's pretty much the only place we're going to get new ideas.
Thing is, we've already talked about almost everything I can't believe we didn't talk about.
Simpsons did it. Geeknights did it. Anyway, so, there's an old saying, the good things come to those who wait. And I know there's a lot of nerds out there, they don't like waiting for things. It's like, oh my God, they got to see the thing as soon as it comes out, or they got to go to the midnight screening.
You got to wait in line at Hall H to see the thing that's going to be on YouTube sooner than you can see it.
Gotta play Portal 2 at PAX because I can't play, oh wait, it's $5 now. Gee, oh my God, I have to wait for another season of Ponies. Well, guess what? At this time, we've already done that twice. And the third one's almost over already.
But at the same time, it's easy to forget that.
The waiting is so short.
It is easy to forget that because, we were watching Ponies along, but then we had a lull.
Yep.
So Adventure Time has 4 whole seasons out, and we marathon through that shit like butter.
Yep.
I hit the end, it's like hitting a brick wall. Now I gotta wait a week for a half episode?
Yep. Well, I gotta tell you, there's something I've been waiting for since 2011.
Okay, so Half-Life 3 longer than
right?
that.
And I have it right now. Oh, that was totally worth waiting 2 years
Scott,
for.
I hate you so much.
That was worth waiting 2 years for.
I can't believe that exists. You have it in our house. You put it in my fucking eyeball.
You see how bright that shit was?
That was pretty fucking bright.
That was worth waiting 2 years easily. So see, it's like I didn't wait at all. I feel like I bought that on Kickstarter yesterday.
But you have ruined one of my greatest go-to shticks.
Your eyeball?
Also my eyeball. Anytime Kickstarter comes up, what I'll always be like, I'll always turn to Scott and be like, yeah, just like your Hex Bride. When did you kickstart that?
2011. I looked it up. That's how come I know.
Why did I turn around? My brain was like, don't turn around, Rim. But it was too late. My body was like,
Are you seeing a nice spot in your eye?
Actually, yeah.
That was actually on the highest setting.
That's a pretty good flashlight.
And it has 3 settings. It also has a blinking setting.
So is it going to be in stores? Can I just go buy it?
Maybe. I'll show you all the details of it later without putting it in your eye.
Well, I'm not going to turn around again.
It's in my bag now.
I still don't trust you. I'm not going to turn around
It
again.
overheats if you leave it in that setting too long.
Really?
Slightly, yeah. It has an auto off in the heat feature. So if it gets too hot, like if you leave it in a bag on by accident, it'll turn itself off. It's pretty amazing. But yeah. So, and if you've kickstarted something and it's been a long time since you've received it, odds are you're not gonna, but it's still possible. Don't lose hope and don't become impatient with anything ever because there's a whole world of things, right? I mean, that new Ghost in the Shell show, that'll be out tomorrow pretty much.
Yeah. Actually, it'll be out in about a week.
Yeah. I'm not, what's the rush?
So all I got is... So my office, right? We talk about memes. Actually, we haven't talked about memes a lot on the show, but Scott and I have talked about memes for a long time. And, as a unit of information that spreads like a virus through humans, all that kind of stuff. When I say meme, I don't mean lolcat with impact font, though that is a meme. That is not what a meme means. Mm-hmm. But a meme made its way through my office, and I'm like watching it cultivate and grow. It's like a fishbowl. So one day, one of my coworkers just kind of whistles, a little tune like do 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 do, and a little thing. And unlike any other tune that's been whistled or anything like that, or even Gangnam Style, this just kind of got repeated around the office, kind of in a loop, and there weren't that many people in. And every day, as days go by, different people kind of just do it randomly and hum it. And people who weren't in the office before come in and they hear it, they replicate it out. Someone's doing it every 5 minutes now, unconsciously. And it's just do 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 do.
That's from a song, but I can't exactly put my finger on it right now.
So I'm going to keep tabs on this, and I'm curious if it's going to make it from me to other people.
It feels really familiar, like an old video game song or a portion of a song from something, a soundtrack.
But yeah, it might be some garbage pop song we just don't know the name of.
No, I think it's either from a video game or it's a sound effect or it's from an OST, like a portion of a song from an OST. I feel like the part after that goes like, you know,
do 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 is what I think
No,
it
I
goes.
think
But
it's-
that part is not part of the meme.
I
The
think it's
meme-
do 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 do. You know, something
See,
like that.
that's
something
not how
along
I
those
think it
lines.
goes. No one agrees on the second part, but the first part is just working around the office. Like one guy will hum it, and then like 10 minutes later, another guy will be walking around. He'll just kind of mutter it under his breath. Someone will whistle it. And at one point, one of my coworkers, like no one talks about it at all. Like after a week of this, it's just like, the fuck is that song? Ugh. And then a few days later, he's just sitting there and he's like, God damn it. So I'm waiting. I want to see.
Behind the Geschwut. Oh, Flipperwald Geschwut, whatever.
All right.
So someone told me about this game called Dungeon Village. And on paper, this is amazing. It's a game where you don't go in the dungeon. You're not the adventurer. It's not even Racketeer where you're just the item shop owner. It's Sim Village that adventurers visit while they go adventuring outside the village.
That it's not a genre. We had a whole panel at MagFest about genres, but sim something that normally is a thing you interact with in games, but is not the main part of the game, has always had a very nice warm spot in the middle of the cockles of my heart.
Indeed. So this is really, you know, have you played Game Dev Story where you manage the game developers?
I'm pretty sure you made it a thing of the day.
Yeah, it's one of those stupid games where all you do is click, 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 and wait, click and wait, click and wait. But the advantage is there's nothing to like pay money like stupid Farmville or Simpsons Farmville, right? It's just click and you just wait like a minute and you just keep clicking and keep waiting until you beat it. And that's all there is to it. So it's not, I hesitate to even call it a game. It's more just like a cute thing to poke while you've got nothing to do.
And you don't have a pet.
And it provides infinite pokes. It's like you can just keep poking it forever and ever and ever. And you watch the adventurers go out and fight monsters and bring back treasures and bring back money and go out and you can send them on quests. And
you know, it's funny. This reminded me.
you build new buildings in the town. And the strategy is to put the inn, where there's just the building they go to the most, fall all the way down the road and then line the road with all the other buildings so that they have to walk past all the other buildings to get to the inn. So there's a greater chance.
Oh, Wanda Fireballs. Yeah, I can
They'll
use one of
stop
those.
in the item shop or something where you get a lot of money from them.
So it's Railroad Tycoon.
And you also have to put putting buildings next to each other, they boost each other. So if you put something next to the circus, it gets a big boost. And a circus also gets a boost.
So
it's a
Railroad
mutual
Tycoon.
boost.
Ah, you rode the roller coaster. Now you're hungry. $1,000 for a French fry.
And you can
and
also
it's in the way
you
of
can
the
also
bathroom.
put flowers next to buildings, which just boosts all adjacent nearby buildings and things like that. So
What's funny is this reminded me of a game that it's not like at all. So remember Fantasy Empires?
it's nothing like Fantasy
I know.
Empires.
You know why it reminded me of it? You remember that game?
Yeah.
One part of that game was you had your level 1 adventurers, like a fighter and a cleric and whatever. You could send them out on quests. And sometimes they just fucking die out there.
But
And
anyway-
sometimes they just come back with shit.
If you need something cute and dungeony to poke to waste time in your life and occupy your brain, and you don't want something that like makes you charge money to poke sooner, like The Simpsons Farmville, and you don't want to wait like an hour to be able to poke it more, you just want to be able to constantly poke forever and ever and ever, you should pay the couple bucks to get Dungeon Village or Game Dev Story if you haven't played that yet either. They're basically the same thing by the same company with different skins. So
I have a question for you. I'm trying something new for these kind of opening bits because I feel like you pointed this out. People are holding back game news announcements until maybe PAX because it's not that far away.
no.
But there's not a lot of game news.
E3 packs coming
I mean,
soon.
I don't want to talk about OnLive continuing to try to exist. I don't have anything new to say about the Ouya that I haven't already said. There's nothing.
Lol, I got things to say about both of those. LOL and LOL. Okay,
yeah,
keep
nothing
going.
new. It's
Yeah.
kind of like Jack Thompson. They get something new.
Jack Thompson. Man, that name hasn't come up in a long
Something
time.
new, bigger than the last thing has to happen before I can talk about that thing again. So I have kind of a gaming question for you.
Okay.
So there's an article on Slashdot about a cool idea someone came up with of glasses that you could wear.
You mean Google goggles?
No. These are something a little more subtle. They're augmented reality in the sense that, for example, say you're colorblind. They will change the way colors appear such that you can perceive that two things that you couldn't tell the difference between are in fact different.
So it basically, they couldn't see color because they're still colorblind. But it would change the colors of, say, all the red things and all the green things so that it looked different than the red things. So they could still
Exactly.
tell them apart, even, you know. So they
Because
wouldn't
nothing is sadder than a German board gamer who is colorblind.
playing through the desert.
Through the desert or El Grande was trouble
Well, Grande
as well.
is trouble, yeah.
So that's a cool thing, right?
Yeah, it's totally cool.
All right, so the same technology can be used to, for example, say someone has a bruise or a sunburn, but it's not visible to humans. You could have glasses that augment the frequency spectrum you perceive, kind of like an audio compressor for video, and a shifter, like a to see those bruises or see those invisible sunburns.
Okay, yeah, sure. You could.
All right, so
That'd be helpful for a doctor. They could be like, oh.
So what if in my, not too distant future, I have my augmented reality glasses and that stuff just built in there, right?
Yep.
So I can see heat signatures of things.
Sure.
So I can see which card you were holding most recently if you just did something in a game of cards.
Yes.
And Dixit cards were shuffled.
Indeed.
Is that cheating?
Maybe.
So I think there is going to be a problem in the board gaming world and only the tabletop board gaming world, not other kinds of gaming.
Casinos can cover it, right? There's already all sorts of devices you can use to cheat in a casino, and casinos already keep those out.
For now. The thing is,
they'll just won't be like, "Hey, you can't wear you can't wear that shit in the casino."
Yeah. So then, when I have my cyber eyes, no cyber eyes in the casino?
Exactly. People with cyber eyes can't gamble.
Wait a minute. So no, the rich people who are willing to spend money on ridiculous extravagances stay out of our casino.
Well, the rich people who are willing to go into this EMP area, or they'll invent some sort of uncheatable system where you don't have the physical cards. It's some digital thing. You can't, you're not plugged in.
Well, here's the thing.
They'll just use some other system
Scott,
that doesn't.
Here's how casinos get around that. And they're already getting around it.
They have a ton of money.
Well, like Craps, right? Craps has the best odds. There's a reason why at most casinos, Craps is so expensive per play that most people can't play it.
You can play Craps. You put whatever the minimum chip is on just like the whatever the line.
The last several times I've been to a casino, the minimum entry point on any Craps table was $100 up.
Oh, I've seen like $10 Craps.
I have, but not often.
Anyway,
it depends on the time of day. I mean, in the middle.
Who's gonna pay $100 on one roll of the dice? Are you insane?
But I'm saying that what they do.
It's like I'm like I don't want to buy a 3DS because there's not enough games out, dude. If I'm willing to put $100 on the roll of a dice, I'll buy 2 3DSs.
What I'm saying is
that
that casinos will minimize games or eliminate games over time culturally that have good odds or that could be gamed by systems like that. Separate question. Tabletop competitive games, ortho games, to use the Richard Garfield
Puerto
terminology.
Rico?
Yes, are going to have a big problem when augmented reality is ubiquitous. Because while there is the social contract of don't cheat during games, like, you can't bring in external shit. Like, if Scott got a piece of paper and started writing down like how many victory points people were taking during a game in Puerto Rico, or flipping a coin to act randomly, no. There's a social contract. But when all those interactions are invisible and indistinguishable from what if you just have a really good memory? That's a problem.
There's a solution that's you're completely missing, right?
Board game mode on my electronic eyeballs.
That's exactly right. If you have these magic eyeballs that can change colors, well, obviously they can project any image to your eyes, right? So you don't even have fucking cards that can have heat signatures on them. Both just you and the other guy are playing a video game, and the display is your electronic eyeballs. And when you look at the table, you see cards that aren't there, and you touch them to move them around, but they're not actually there. So you can't possibly cheat unless you hack, which is the same exact problem that we already have with Counter-Strike video game cheating, which is going to have the same solution.
So you headed me off, which is good because it means we're kind of on the same page with all this
stuff. Right, so as soon as I have electronic eyeballs, we have to be the first people to make Puerto Rico Electronic Eyeball Edition.
So here's why I said it's a problem for board games. Not because it makes...
Oh, no, people will stop sending money so that China can print games on cardboard. Oh, no.
No, because right now, if someone wants to design a board game... They basically don't need anything except their brain and pieces of paper and, fiddly bits.
Oh, they're going to have to learn to code.
They will have to be able to code.
All board games will become video games amongst people with electronic eyeballs.
Basically, yes. Suddenly, board game development just becomes an interface for video game development.
Yeah.
Which is something nerds have wanted for a long time, but I foresee that being a hugely disruptive period, especially in like tabletop tournament gaming, and that whole industry is going to get really fucked by this. Now, the nice result is it's pretty much a win for the gamers and for the game designers.
Well, I mean, you can just pirate all the board games, right?
I mean, I can
You
pirate
don't have to have a
game now.
tabletop library. You just need the other people, and everyone has electronic eyes, so everyone can play every game ever.
But I'm even pumped now about augmented reality in
I don't
tabletop
have to,
games.
Oh, no, I won't have to set up Eclipse. I'll just blink, and I'll take a look at Eclipse, and then, boom, oh, Eclipse is on the table. Don't you see it? Yeah, I see it. There
But
it is.
once we get to that point where a tabletop game is really just a video game and the bits are just an interface.
And it'll be so much faster to play. You won't mess up any rules.
Thus, the problem with the kinds of tabletop games we like now, and while this is not an insurmountable problem, it is not a problem that's going to be easily surmountable by most people. Why do we always say that tabletop games are the best games to study and design when you're a novice designer, and why they tend to be very elegant?
Because the limitations of the physical world constrain.
So suddenly, if the physical world is not
decision.
a limitation again, but is simply a manifestation of the interface, we again no longer have that limitation, and it lets the non-genius, non-expert game designers, basically, it ruins their ability to make a good game.
No, it doesn't, because they can still create the game physically, right? Forgetting all those, the fact that people can cheat with using their magic eyes.
They can,
and then once they've designed that beautiful game, just translate it into a digital version, as has been very successful for many a developer.
But the people who will design faster and rise faster in the early days of this are the ones who are game designers and programmers, leaving everyone else in the dust, thus making it the point where...
I think... if they were public companies, I would invest a bit in the companies that are, such as Big Daddy's Creations, who have made a business of taking other people's games and turning them into iOS, iPad, PC apps.
That is an apt investment that I think I would agree with.
Those companies are going to do very well. And in fact, I would not be surprised if some of those companies started hiring the board game designers instead of just, taking contracts from other game companies.
Because I was thinking about this and I realized how rapidly all the strictures of tabletop break down. Like, even forget the heat signatures. All right, I'm holding cards. Well, if I have Google Glasses or something like it recording everything that's going on constantly...
You could rewind and play the shell game to see, and you could find where the card was.
Better. I could rewind because everyone holds their cards, right? There's that moment where for a second you lean forward a little bit and the cards are visible for a second, but no human could actually see what they were.
You rewind to that exact frame
I've got
on
HD
your
video
60
zoomed in.
FPS video.
Yeah, suddenly my thing just shows me like, it has an overlay of here's our best guess as to what's in everyone's hands based on glances we've seen or reflections off of eyeballs with the 8K camera.
Yeah.
So
the 8K camera in my own eyeball, I think, is a ways off.
Yeah, but within our lifetime, I think.
We'll be old. If
that's the best time. It means that when my body starts falling apart.
We're going to need it. You'll be lucky if you can even see at all.
When I'm old, I'm going to be a brain attached to artificial genitalia and some and a USB interface for playing Counter-Strike.
We can only hope. Is the genitalia for the Counter-Strike play. So you can talk about it while you play Counter-Strike. That's the only reason you need it.
No, but then you also need a joint.
It's not like it's going to work. You're like 110 years old.
You also need a marijuana simulator so you can talk about how high you are.
But no actual weed. You won't need it anymore.
But anyway, things of the day. I would normally make this a Wednesday Geek Nights thing, but I'll make it a Tuesday thing to spread the love and the horrible judgment of the moon. There's a guy, he was thinking of the day a long time ago, and he would recreate openers to anime, like Fist of the North Star. But he would do it live action and play all the parts and basically dress up and then make himself be all the characters and all the scenes in the entire opener. It's hilarious. Different guy is doing something similar, and this is something pretty fantastic. Basically, he's doing that with surprisingly better cosplay skills than I exhibited at RIT.
Which isn't saying much.
Making costumes out of construction paper and redoing all of the transformation sequences from Bishoujo Senshi's Sailor Moon.
Your favorite.
Not my favorite, but you know what? I do not regret having watched that entire show.
Okay.
So you should watch this, and I'm not sure what you'll think of it.
Okay, so this dude is playing, I guess, paintball, it looks like. It doesn't look like airsoft. And he's playing, apparently, a game called, I guess, CB I think the place is CBQB Tactical, and they're playing a game called One Man Army. And in the description, it says, game was based around one floor at a time. Attackers have unlimited lives, defenders 1 life, and are timed on how long it takes to clear the floor. Rest of my team got finished off as I came around and shot the last 2 guys. I stayed quiet in one of the side rooms, and to my surprise, not one single person decided to check that they were clear. This was the result of that. Full video of day to follow. So this video is just a 1 minute, 19-second video. So that's pretty short. And a large portion of this video is spent with him in a room, just quiet, waiting in the dark. But he basically pops out, and nobody knew he was in there, and they were all facing the other way. And he takes out enough people to make a thing of the day.
So when you started telling this story, what I was going to say, but I did not interrupt because I wanted to see
He's got
if
like
it
a
was the
GoPro
story.
on his gun or something.
That was a clutch moment. I am a connoisseur of clutch moment Counter-Strike YouTube videos.
Yeah, well, this isn't Counter-Strike. This is the paintball for real.
Exactly.
So this is more clutch. I mean, he takes out like 2 Counter-Strike teams worth of people.
Yeah, because it's one thing in Counter-Strike.
At least.
In Counter-Strike, when my guy runs across the entire map murdering everyone, that's not as impressive as a human running and murdering everyone because fingers get hurt and people get tired.
I especially like how at one point he says, whoop, 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 bitches. And the second top comment on YouTube is, whoop, 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 bitches.
Are you sure he wasn't playing Counter-Strike?
Yeah. I'm sure. You can check it out yourself.
So in the meta moment, PAX
East.
coming up.
Soon.
We're going to be there.
March, right?
Yes, March. We are doing not 1,
March
but 2,
22nd through 24th.
possibly 3, but probably 2 lectures. We call them panels, but they're lectures at PAX East. We are doing, announced officially here. I'm delaying because I'm scrolling through the email to find the titles again. We are doing Mastering Game Mechanics at noon on Saturday, March 23rd. And we are doing Practical Game Theory at 1:30 on Saturday in the same room. PM. These are both going to be 2 pretty cool lectures. Because the room might not have a stage, and we tell you guys right now, might not video them. It's way hard to video a lecture if the panelists aren't on a stage.
We'll see. We'll see.
Kineticon submissions are open, and it's February, so we're starting to schedule stuff. So if you want to present at Kineticon in Hartford, Connecticut, a convention about literally everything,
Which is the week before PAX Aus in August.
Submit your shit.
Yep.
And Scott, myself, and 1 other person are the sole deciders of whether or not you get to present. And if you present enough, we'll give you a free badge.
Is there any other meta, like the book club?
The book club book was The Great Gatsby. We both finished it. We'll do the show as soon as we have a Thursday episode free to do it. If you didn't read it, you're a bad person. If you read it and didn't like it, you're a bad person.
I'm going to pick another book soon. I don't even know what.
Really? What's that book going to be?
I don't know.
Pressure's on. Just remember, if you
I should stick with my plan of pick book I own physically but have not read yet.
I'm just warning you, the second you pick something I don't like, it's all nonfiction.
Great.
Or The Count of Monte Cristo.
Great.
You would like The Count of Monte Cristo a lot.
It's so long.
The thing is, you'll read it so fast because it's so awesome.
Anyway,
Let's
forget about any other metas right now.
Yeah, we got videos online. I uploaded the 3rd and final of our presentations from MagFest
And he
11.
immediately goes into more meta.
But I want to tell people I got a thing out.
Okay, good. Is that all?
That's all.
That is all. All right, so
I can't believe we didn't talk about this. This is where we play the theme song I can't believe we didn't talk about this.
We may have talked about this. We may have talked about this, but in searching our website extensively with many methods, I have not found any links to it. Therefore, I don't think we've ever done an episode on the point-and-click adventure game genre, so let us do that now. Because it is a genre of games that is beloved by many, is of historical significance, and is of recent resurgence.
Now, we can talk about like actual history and things later.
You can read about that on Wikipedia.
Yeah, we're just talking about our own experiences and our own thoughts on these things. You know, back to classic Geeknights. You know, a little bit of Dave and Joel style, a little less Anime World Order style. So the reason I thought of this, and Scott thought of this, and Scott hasn't heard of this game, though I'm really interested in it, is that Kentucky Route Zero is this indie game that is a point-and-click adventure, but it's not like old point-and-click adventures.
Okay.
And it reminds me kind of, if you look at the graphics, of Out of This World.
Oh, like
on the SNES.
Flashback?
Yeah, well, Flashback came way later. Out of This World was the first one.
Right.
And they're not really in the same genre, but they're anyway, I digress. So I'll get back to why I think Kentucky Route Zero might be different, but it has to do with things James Portnow said. You might know him from Penny Arcade stuff in our video from MagFest. Anyway, so the only point-and-click adventures I've ever actually liked were Maniac Mansion, but that's because I'd never played anything like that before.
Yeah.
Shadowgate because I'm a moron.
I like Deja Vu more than Shadowgate.
I liked them both equally.
I beat Deja Vu without cheating or looking up any facts or anything like that.
As did I. I beat Shadowgate mostly on my own, but I looked in, not facts, but I had a Nintendo
I actually
Power
didn't
thing.
play Shadowgate until the emulator era, but I had a strategy guide of NES games I didn't own, and Shadowgate was in there.
So I rented Shadowgate, and I didn't know what to expect, and I remember playing through it, and I was like, I thought it was the most awesome thing ever because I was dumb and didn't really realize what was going on, mostly because of the crazy deaths.
The crazy
All
deaths.
I cared about was...
All right, we've talked about enough about Shadowgate crazy deaths. I
Yeah.
don't think we need to talk about it more.
Deja Vu, it's all about punching that mugger 3 times.
Yeah.
But not 4 times.
No.
But don't punch that other mugger, but
Well,
don't shoot
once
him either.
you've punched him 3 times, don't go in the alley anymore. You only have to go in the alley 3 times at most, right?
Yeah.
So just don't go that way.
The only problem is if that other asshole mugger shows up.
Anyway. If you run out of money for the taxi, that's why you have to win the lottery in the slot machine.
I'm going to admit something. I hated King's Quest. King's Quest 1, I hated it. I wanted nothing to do with that fucking game.
I didn't hate them, but I didn't play them significantly long
I
enough
played
amounts
King's
of
Quest
time
1.
to start to hate them. But it's not like I loved them where I was like I couldn't play them and I couldn't stop. I just
played
sort of
King's
played
Quest
them a little
1.
bit and I said, oh, that's what King's Quest is like. Okay.
I played King's Quest 1, 4, I think 5. I know I never played 2.
Okay.
I'm looking at the list of King's Quest. Yes, I definitely played King's Quest and King's Quest 4. And King's Quest 5 was on a computer at my school, but I never actually played it.
Most of the ones I played King's Quest 1.
Oh, I played 5 because that's the one that was on the NES.
I never played any on the NES.
Yeah,
I didn't even know that there was one on there.
King's Quest 5 was on the NES, and
Yeah.
it really sucks to play.
I played King's Quest 1 a little bit just to learn, historically what it was like. And I also played a 1 or 2 of the ones that were sort of Windows 3.1 era where you would right-click to change the mouse cursor and single-click to do that action on the thing. I see some screenshots of them here. Let's see, which one is this? This is King's Quest 6. I think I might have played 6 a little bit. This is I Heart Chaos. King's Quest 3. I might have played King's Quest 3. It's possible.
But basically, I didn't enjoy them primarily because I was used to playing action games or puzzly games, and I just didn't enjoy the kinds of puzzles in King's Quest games. They felt very arbitrary.
Well, that's exactly the problem of most of these point-and-click adventure games in general, right? I beat, what was the one? The one that everyone really likes with the skull guy. I beat it a long time ago.
Grim Fandango?
Grim Fandango, yeah. So I beat that one, right? Is that so much of these games is it's really, I hesitate, I guess it's more of a game than Dungeon Village, but even so, it's really just a story, a cartoon, choose your own adventure in that there's branching, but it's not not that you choose.
There usually isn't actually branching.
Well, that's exactly it. Each branch is incredibly short and ends in a death or an end of game, and then you just return to the main trunk. There's no thick branches that really go far away and have a different ending. And most of them is one big long trunk with the real ending at the end, and very tiny branches where if you choose an incorrect action, you will die or soon die. But you want to do those, most of them, to see all those animations and funny jokes that result from them, because a lot of them, the different ways to die, actually do a different way to die, and there's something to see, and there's content.
I think Quest for Glory was the best in terms of crazy deaths.
Right, but then you just return back to the trunk and try to figure out the thing you're supposed to do to continue and not die.
See, you talk about the trunk, I do feel, we were talking about this earlier, that there are at least 2 sort of distinct within this genre, a word I use very lightly these days.
Yep.
That there's the like Full Throttle and a lot of the Scum games were much more linear, and you'd like be in an area and you'd interact with all the shit in that area,
and then you
you'd
go to
move
the
on
next,
to the next area.
Exactly.
Meanwhile, games like the King's Quest, even though they do some Legend of Zelda, can't get there from here till you got the hook shot.
Yep.
They'd still be a much more like they'd be a grid instead of a line of go around and go, figure out, I got to go here with this thing and then back over to here. And then there were games
just because they had more screens per area doesn't really make it any right. I mean, what about those ones that are like?
No, it does in one sense.
What about those ones that are like escape the room? They're no different. It's just more or less complex. It doesn't make it a different kind of game.
No, I didn't say it was like a different kind of game. I said they are distinct in one sense. The grid ones have an initial sort of long discovery phase where you're discovering this world and you're like making a map for yourself.
Oh, because they're more complex, they have an extra
just
part
in the
to
geography,
the game.
no other aspect. The fact that it's a big two-dimensional grid, you're thinking to yourself like, where is that village again? You're taking notes like, all right, this place had this, but in like full throttle, you're walking back and forth.
Yeah, the other ones do still have that, but it's very short, right? It's like, okay, there's 3 screens you can go to. Look at all 3 of them, right?
Well, here's the difference.
Figure out all the things you can interact with on all of them.
King's Quest had discovery and exploration, but Full Throttle really just had discovery. Like, here's the new area. See all the things in this area. Move on.
Yeah.
King's Quest also you had to actually explore.
All right. Now, what the thing is, Full Throttle and others like it did have something that the others didn't have, which is an action element. In fact, they basically put in a mini game or another game where it's like, not only do you have to do the usual point and click, figure out the stupid logic bullshit, but you also have to play this motorcycle racing game and be able to survive to the end of the motorcycle racing game. And then that's the only, so that would be like, it's like, okay, enough puzzle solving, now do shooting. And I'm sure there's adventure games where you have to shoot, or you have to do platforming, or you have to do other skills are tested to progress in addition to just figuring out the puzzles. So a FAQ won't help you beat the entire game automatically like it would with, say, Maniac Mansion.
Now, the ones that I really like Police Quest.
Police Quest I like.
The only problem with Police Quest is that the driving was the worst driving in any game ever.
I just remember the elevator in Police Quest.
Oh my god, up the elevator, down. The thing is, Police Quest I liked because it was so fucking boring and so fucking procedural. And it's like, all right, go into the locker room, change your police uniform, get your keys, go upstairs, go to the briefing, back into the elevator, click the button, close the door, go downstairs, put the handcuff on the dude.
You actually had to push the buttons in the elevator and all this.
But as a result, that game would take you through the minutia of police procedure in a way that was actually pretty interesting to a nerd like me who was into that stuff at the time.
Yep. I kind of want to go play that now.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like going home and trying some Police Quest.
The problem with Police Quest is that the driving is unbearable. Unbearable. And the other problem with it is that a lot of it's not, it's open in terms of like where you go, and there's a lot of kind of random events and stuff, but really the plot, there's only one solution to every plot scenario. Like in the poker room at the end, it's like, all right, wait for the guy to leave, go use the phone. If you do anything else, you die.
Yeah. Well, I mean, these aren't visual novels, right? They're adventure games. It's not the same thing at all. It's like on the surface, you would think that they were similar, right? Because they have, the primary thing to enjoy in both of those, right, is not the play of the game, but the art and the story and the music and the visuals. It's like an animation,
And the give and also the give and take of the mechanics of you're sitting there with the guy, and it gives you the option of, do you handcuff him in the front because he seems harmless? Do you handcuff him in the back anyway?
Yep.
And then exploring the results of those two actions.
Yeah, but it's really just seeing the entertainment comes not necessarily from the choice, but from the fact that you do actually get to see 2 different things happen. It matters. And you see, you did it in the front and he was evil and he stabbed you. You did it in the back. You safely bring him in the police car. And there's 2 different animations to see and 2 different stories.
But there's one, like we talked, in our old Losing Should Be Fun lecture, I want to do again sometime just to video it. There's the narrative structure where there's a straight line to the end and every branch ends in death.
Yep.
Or basically gives you a scene you wouldn't otherwise see and then returns to the main branch. So they're similar to visual novels in the same way that Choose Your Own Adventure is similar to just another book. Because the whole point of a visual novel, at least some visual novels, is that you can actually branch. There's different endings, and then the decisions affect things later down the road.
And they don't bullshit you by trying to like make you do, solve or test your skills. They just
some
literally,
do.
Yeah, some do.
Some
but
do. Nine
most of
whatevers, nine whatevers, nine whatevers.
That's not really
is
visual
arguably
novel.
in the visual novel genre.
It's more of a. It's more
It's a visual puzzler.
Yeah, it's more like Myst than it's just with easier, not stupid puzzles.
Myst. All right, I hated Myst.
Yeah, Myst is not the greatest.
I like puzzles. I like crazy puzzles that don't.
But the puzzles in Myst don't even fucking.
No, they do make sense. I just don't like them.
They're not good. I don't agree that they're good puzzles. Right?
Well, they give you the explore with so little content. You know what it is? Myst has fucking 0 directional heuristics unless you were willing to take notes.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's why I give you a notebook with the box when you buy it.
Yeah, you know what? There's only one point in all of Shadowgate where you actually have to take notes, and that's to know how to do the order of the bullshit in the anyway.
Right, because in Myst, you'll go up to a device and you'll learn how to interact with the device and see how it works and say, okay, this button does this lever does that, okay, this has something to do with that, and it controls something along those lines. Okay, but what do I actually want to set it to do something? I don't know. So you go examine the rest of the game, and maybe if you're lucky, you'll find something that looks like the thing you learned how to operate before, and you'll learn that goes with that. But most of the time, the thing that tells you, what to do with a particular device looks nothing like that device and has no indication that it goes with that device. You just sort of have to say, well, if this was the thing that told me how to use this, then that would mean that I would have to do this with it.
Now, I'm not saying it's a bad game.
Try it out, and you try everything on everything, but trying everything on everything isn't as simple as it is in a LucasArts adventure game where you're like, hammer on that. Nope. Screwdriver on that. Nope. Bread on that. Nope. In Myst, it's like, okay, if I use this on that, that means 1, 5, 7, 10. And if I use this on that, it means middle lever up, side lever down, right? And it's like, come on. It's just a lot of
But again,
effort.
I'm not saying this is a bad game. I just fucking hated it.
I say it has there are many bad things about
it
Myst.
did bad things to the gaming industry.
That's for sure. It is a bad game in many ways.
But actually, the games like this I like the most were the Quest for Glory games. I talk about them a lot because I love those games, and unlike a lot of these other ones, which I tried to replay in the last decade from my youth and just couldn't deal with them. Like, I tried to play King's Quest again in like 2004, and I just couldn't. I just didn't get it.
I agree completely. When I was a kid, I fucking loved these kind of games. Like, my memory...
See, I didn't. When I was a kid, the Scum games... I actually hated most of those.
Really?
I remember, because my brother was playing Full Throttle, and I was playing Quest for Glory, I think 4, and... I was like, all right, I'll try your game, you try mine, and he liked mine, okay. And I was like, Full Throttle, what is this? It's just like a straight line. There's like there's nothing to this game. Just click on everything.
Yep.
Just click, just fucking click.
But
click.
anyway, it's like when I was a kid, pretty much any adventure game was awesome, right? But now, if I try to play one, I might feel like, oh yeah, at the start of it, like when I'm about to start playing. But then as soon as I get to screen 2, I'm like, oh right, fuck this. And maybe what I'll do is get a FAQ and just play it straight through to see the story, or watch it on YouTube to get that enjoyment from the story and all the endings.
Well, we've talked about that as the game piracy if you watch someone play through it on YouTube.
Right, and because there's no enjoyment for me in solving puzzles that make no sense. And here's the other problem. I played a game called Stacking, the one with you're the Matryoshka doll.
Oh, yeah.
Which is basically sort of a point-and-click adventure. It's basically you go to there's a bunch of levels, and in each level you have to solve these, different parts of the level, and you can walk around it mostly freely in order to advance to the next part, right? And so in many ways, it is a point-and-click adventure in the solving your way out of the room, sort of, what do I use on what? Which Matryoshka container do I use on that? And even if you know which one to use on that, where can I go get the one that I need, right? And there's a little bit of that going on.
Well, I guess, here's the distinction. Look at Myst.
But the point is in that game, most of the things to do made sense, unlike a LucasArts adventure game.
Well, a lot of the
because
things...
they made sense, it was so easy as to not be challenging at all, because it was just
Scott,
like,
a lot
obviously.
of the things in the LucasArts stuff did make sense. Like in Full Throttle, the asbestos suit, like, what do you think that does?
Yeah, a lot of things made sense, but they still had a lot of things that were Nintendo logic, right? Whereas the Stacking game had almost no Nintendo logic.
But the difference is, in these Scum games, for example, because of the limited set of items and the limited interactivity, even an 8-year-old in their head could map out every possible combinations of things they could do in a given room.
Yeah, we played these when we were little kids, so yeah.
Meanwhile, Myst is the opposite of that. There's no way to map out every combination. You have to solve it via an entirely different mechanism.
Yep. Well, and
so
then
I like the games that are in between the two, and Quest for Glory, that series of games with the first one doesn't really do it so much, but after the first one, they kind of figured out the deal.
Quest for Glory has the RPG element to it.
Yes, Quest for Glory is more like an RPG that looks like an adventure game.
Yeah.
But it doesn't do the RPG stuff of like, I don't know,
Turn-based combat. Oh,
Hmm?
yeah, it doesn't do that.
But we'll get back, because Quest for Glory I could talk about for hours. It's like my game from my childhood.
It's your jam.
The problem is
Everyone knows it's your jam.
I can do a pretty good job of separating the sort of semi-objective reasons why I rationally enjoy the game from the sort of, it was one of those games I played as a kid, but I can't separate them 100%. But I did play all those other games as a kid as well. I hated most of them. Quest for Glory, here's the reasons that don't make sense for anyone but me. One, the first like computer game that was for real, like a AAA blockbuster that I bought in a store. Didn't just pirate where I didn't have an instruction book or whatever, but I actually physically bought with dollars for a brand new computer, was Quest for Glory 4. Because 1, 2, and 3 are
It's not
ancient.
a AAA blockbuster.
In that era, it was one of the A games on the. It was like on the shelf.
Let's see what year that came out.
That was what, 94, 92. It was a long fucking time
Shadow
ago.
of Darkness?
Yes,
93. And
Yeah.
94 came with the CD version. Did you buy the CD or the floppy version?
floppy version, of course.
Okay, so that was 93, right?
Yeah. So look when Quest for Glory 1 came out.
Well, hold on. I'm going to look up something else. Oh, okay. MechWarrior 2 came out in 95. So it was before MechWarrior 2. Okay, when did Doom...
So here's the thing: Quest for Glory 1, 2, 3 were ancient.
Yeah,
4
Doom came out in 93. I think that was the blockbuster as opposed to the Quest for Glory.
Well, Quest for Glory was on. If you went to a computer game store, Quest for Glory 4
was
on,
underneath the Doom shelf.
Well, no, it was on the shelf with
all the shelves,
other
all
big
the shelves
titles.
had Doom. Doom was every shelf.
Actually, I bought Doom 2 at Babbage's, I think.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Quest for Glory 4 was like I bought it, and it was awesome, but I was like 4. I've been through this rigmarole before Final Fantasy 6. Like, I knew about that stuff. So I was already mad. It's like, 4, where's 1, 2, and 3? And the internet didn't really exist in the way it does today now. So I'd like ask older gamer dudes I knew, like on chat boards and things. And eventually I discovered, and I found it, and I went to a game store and bought this. Quest for Glory 1 had been re-released as a VGA version, updated with clicking instead of typing.
Nice.
So I bought that. And I realized, oh, you can fucking export and import characters. Oh my God.
That is a great thing that I wish modern games. Only Golden Sun has that. What else has that?
Halo, not Halo. Mass Effect.
Does it?
Yeah.
Okay, you can bring
the
characters
decisions you make carry through.
from Mass Effect 1 to 2 to 3.
Yeah.
There are too few games that do this. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, no,
Too
but see,
few.
when I was a kid, many of you probably went through this. You had Final Fantasy 1 on the NES. You had Final Fantasy 2 and 3 on the SNES. And then when Final Fantasy 7 came out, you're like, what? What? And then when you learned...
because people didn't know better.
Yeah, but then as soon as you knew something was up and you were burned and you were like, oh, there's all these NES Final... So I knew something was up with this. It bothered me. That drove me to get deep into gaming. That's why I knew who made Quest for Glory. I didn't know who made any other game that I ever made, but I knew about Laurie and Corey Cole solely because I was so desperate to figure out how to get Quest for Glory 2 and 3.
Did you see they have a Kickstarter for something?
Yes.
Did you kickstart it?
I noticed it too late. Because Quest for Glory 5 was terrible, and it was made way later. But I eventually acquired floppies, and these were 700 whatever K floppies, not 1.4 megabyte, of Quest for Glory 2,
Whoa.
which is the best one in my opinion.
Okay.
But those are all the reasons why I like these games that you don't want to care about. The reasons you should like these games, like Scott said, they're more like an RPG. You have stats that level up, and there are puzzles, but they're not puzzles like, well, first you have to lick the toad, and then push the witch into the oven, and then close the door, and then type duck. They're not like that. They're more like, all right, you need an anvil because of a spell. Like, you need an anvil. Well, there's a couple of different places you could steal one from. Or maybe you buy one. I don't know. So, like, I go to the blacksmith, and I'm like, all right, I'm just going to fucking steal his anvil. So I pick his lock, and I go into his place, and I'm like, all right, and I sneak, because I don't know if he
You
lives
can't
in...
lift the anvil, though.
Yeah, so I go to the anvil, and I'm like, take anvil. It's like, oh, I'm not strong enough. Now, if I were strong enough, I could have just lifted it.
Yep.
But I was a thief, not a fighter. I didn't put anything in the strength. I couldn't lift that thing for shit.
Yep.
So I'm like, oh, what do I do? So I get some oil, and I try to, like, grease it up. And then the guards appear in the doorway, and I'm like, what? And I get arrested. So the next time I do it, and I close the door behind me and I lock it again. And then I make so much racket trying to get the fucking thing out there that I wake the guy up and he comes down and beats me to death.
Nice.
And the fact there's so many ways to solve that puzzle that it's ridiculous. And depending on your class, there's all these different options, but it's not like one of those games where, oh, if you're a wizard, you can solve it by doing this. But if you're a thief, do it by this. No, there's just like 4 solutions based on the skills you have and the items you have and the things you can do. Any class can do any of them. And that aspect of it made it feel a lot more open and a lot more interesting. That there were multiple solutions to pretty much they weren't puzzles, they were problems. There were puzzles in those games, but that's kind of a separate piece.
Yep. Is there anything else to say about the point? Oh, there's a recent resurgence, right? Because it's sort of a genre that died. No one was making games in the genre anymore. And more people sort of bemoan this because they had nostalgia for them or they really liked them and just wanted there to be more of them. So more recently, there have been quite a bunch of these remade. You can buy a lot of them on Steam. Like they redid Sam & Max. They made a whole bunch of them. And there was the Back to the Future ones. And some people like them. Some people don't. You know, I haven't really played all too many of them, but I'm sure if you enjoy like the story, animation, acting, video story part, that you could check them out on YouTube or buy them and play them, or buy them and play them with a FAQ, and it would probably be pretty awesome. But you know, not having played them, I question the game part. I imagine that they're along the lines of try clicking on everything until you proceed to see the
now
rest
I
of the
should
story.
qualify that though, because for example, my problem are the games that have the sort of Nintendo logic, it's just a puzzle, or the games where there isn't any consequence of failure, you literally just click on everything. Like the Escape the Room games are usually just click on everything until you get out.
Yep.
There's no consequence to failure, not even death. Just
sometimes
nothing.
the worst consequence is you have to try to escape the room again from the beginning and re-click everything you already clicked and remember what you already clicked because you died.
Yep. But then again, if the Nintendo logic is full-on Nintendo logic, like Maniac Mansion, I enjoyed Maniac Mansion because it was arbitrary and crazy, but you were trying to figure out the logic of the arbitrary crazy world, which was itself pretty self-consistent. So I did enjoy Maniac Mansion, and Maniac Mansion also frustrated the ever-living crap out of me, primarily because I played it mostly on the NES, where it's very difficult to control.
Very difficult.
But once I learned there were a few ways to die, I was obsessed with trying to kill all the characters, and I came up with a way to do it, and I got this crazy ending that I didn't know was there. I killed all 3 kids.
Nice.
You know how I did it?
How'd you do it?
How would you do it? You remember that game enough?
Not too much. Isn't it where you could put something in the microwave and explodes?
Yeah, the hamster.
Yeah. And doesn't that kill you?
No.
With exploding microwave?
It just kills the hamster.
Oh.
So, here's how you do it. There is a way where I think that there's a tentacle can kill you, or the meteor can kill you in one situation.
Okay.
But if you drain the pool and you don't fill it back up within a certain amount of time, the whole place goes nuclear and everyone dies.
Okay.
But that's not the way I did it. I emptied the pool. I then put 2 of the kids in there, and then I had the 3rd kid fill the pool up. They both drowned. Gravestones appeared. I thought that was cool.
Yep.
In the front lawn. So then I had to kill the 3rd kid. So I went back. I borrowed the hamster. I put it in the microwave. I killed it. And then I went into the room of the guy whose hamster it was, and I gave it to him. And he murdered me.
Nice.
I put a lot of effort into figuring that out. And I don't know, those games, like you said, part of the enjoyment of these games really is the funny and weird crap that happens. You want to experience it. That's why I'm kind of interested in Kentucky Route Zero.
Okay, so you've been talking about this Kentucky Route Zero. So far you've said it's a point-and-click adventure that looks like out of this world.
So as far as I can tell, by reading around a little bit on the internet, there aren't really puzzles.
That's good.
It has the interface and aesthetic of a point-and-click adventure, but it is just see the interesting stuff that's happening and try to figure out the story of this place. There is no puzzle to solve. It's also episodic, and it doesn't end apparently yet.
I should wait for more of it then and buy the whole thing.
Well, right now it's going to
it's
be on
any good.
Steam soon.
I'll wait for there to be a giant bundle like Kentucky Route Zero Complete Edition.
Right now it's $25 for the whole thing, or $7 per act. There's only one act out.
Yeah, it's too much.
I'm going to buy the Act 1 because I want to see what the deal is. Because in that MagFest panel, the point James Portnow made that was really interesting was that we talk a lot about genre in games. We always define it by game mechanics. And he pointed out that pretty much every other medium except music, as we came up in the discussion, talks a lot more about mood and feeling. Like film noir is more about the atmosphere than it is about the black and white, camera angle close-ups.
Some of it is.
Yeah, but that we talk more about horror movies. But yet when we say survival horror game, we usually mean action, third-person shooter or tank controls or something. This feels like this is in the style of an adventure game, point and click, but it is a game that's defined by the feeling it gives you and the experiences you have. So I want to give that kind of game a big chance.
Yeah, I just don't, I have nothing against that. I just think it's not really a game. It's closer to what a movie is.
Well, it is a game,
right?
because this is the one point where we disagree with Garfield in his book. I think we can define what a game is very well if we use our three definitions. It's either,
what skill is this testing, right?
A game is a game if it satisfies any one of our three definitions. It's like three types of games. Either a competitive test of one or more skills.
So this is not that.
No. What was the second definition? Oh, a series of meaningful decisions.
It's not that either.
Or a consensual interactive amusement.
It could be, it's an amusement.
Yes.
It's like...
It is a consensual
It's
interactive
like a Nickelodeon.
amusement.
You put a nickel in, you take a look, you have fun.
Exactly,
right?
but
you
it's
click on things
distinct.
and you have fun. The same thing as Dungeon Village. You click on it and you have fun.
Yes, but it is distinct from a novel or a book in that you are interacting. You could miss things. Your interaction might be different than someone else's interaction.
That is true.
And consensual has to be in there because of a good example that I thought of a couple days ago. At the panel last year, people were like, it has to be consensual, but no one really gave a good reason why. Here's why. Let's say every day I break into your apartment and I piss in your Cheerios.
Okay.
So I'm making your life worse.
That's just vandalism.
Okay, so maybe it's a game to me. I'm like, I wonder if I can get in and do this. Like, how many days can I do this before I get caught? It's a game to me. For me, that is a game. Piss in Scott's Cheerios.
Great.
It's not a game for Scott.
No.
Because it's not consensual. Now, if Scott consented to that all right, I will try to catch you pissing in my Cheerios, and then, whatever, then it's a game for both of us. Or a better example, bullying. To a lot of bullies or trolls, it's a game. But it is really missing the point to call it a game from the context of the person being bullied.
Well, some people will say, you think this is a game? Right? That's what they're talking about.
Exactly.
It's like, you think this is a game, but it's not. I'm not playing. Only you're playing.
So I think, and actually it's kind of my challenge to you listeners, is there something you think is a game that does not satisfy one of those three? I'm just curious because I really like our definitions and I really want to do something with those definitions other than have the slide in every panel we do.
All right. I think we talked about enough about these. I mean, I've talked about most of the ones that I've played extensively. I've played a lot of them, a little bit each, so it's not like I have much to say about any specific ones. I remember playing the Indiana Jones one on the Mac. That one was pretty good.
Oh yeah,
the Atlantis one.
I played a bunch of the King's Quest. I played as many of the police quests as I could get. I didn't play any space quests ever, so I don't know anything about them.
I know what it looks like. I could recognize it, like, oh, that's Space Quest.
I played the Scum ones, and I didn't like them even as a kid. But yet I liked all the other kinds, except Quest for Glory, or except for King's Quest.
And I played a lot as younger, but my memory is more vague. And I did a more recent replay of a lot of Scum VMs like a year or two ago. Of Scum games, and yeah, it's pretty much like, oh, I just want to fuck this bullshit.
Quest for Glories also have action-based combat.
I guess we should say the words Monkey Island so no one gets mad.
So yeah,
know.
Monkey Island games, yes, they're funny.
Yes.
The comedy that happens in them is hilarious.
That is the enjoyment. Pretty much comes 90% from the comedy, and the rest of it, whatever.
They wouldn't work as just cartoons because some of the jokes involve the mechanics.
Yes.
I can think of a bunch of examples where there's only one option to click on, but the fact that is the option you have to click on it is hilarious.
But you could just watch someone play on YouTube and get 99% of the enjoyment from them, as long as the person explored all of the things.
Yep, I don't need to play these games again for any reason except nostalgia. But like I said, I'm gonna give Kentucky Route Zero a try, and if it passes muster, I will see that Scott does the same, and then we'll talk about that. And before any of you haters start bitching about us, we didn't really say anything bad about your genre, nor did we talk about the history of it or get anything wrong about, well, technically, Scum VM came 1 year after this other emulator.
Whatever.
Don't tell us about games we didn't talk about. Unless you think they'd be worth playing. If there's a game out there that's like Quest for Glory that I didn't play, I kind of want to know, because Quest for Glory 2 I played again like a couple of years ago, and it really holds up. This has been Geeknights with Rim and Scott. Special thanks to DJ Pretzel for the opening music, Kat Lee for web design, and Brando K for the logos.
Be sure to visit our website at frontrowcrew.com for show notes, discussion, news, and more.
Remember, Geeknights is not one, but 4 different shows. Sci-Tech Mondays, Gaming Tuesdays, Anime Comic Wednesdays, and Indiscriminate Thursdays.
Geeknights is distributed under a Creative Commons Attribution 3.0 license. Geeknights is recorded live with no studio and no audience. But unlike those other late shows, it's actually recorded at night. I hear us talking.
Pretty fucking bright.
That was worth waiting 2 years easily. So see, it's like I didn't wait at all. I feel like I bought that on Kickstarter yesterday.
But you have ruined one of my greatest go-to shticks.
Your eyeball?
Also my eyeball. Anytime Kickstarter comes up, what I'll always be like, I'll always turn to Scott and be like, yeah, just like your Hexbride. When'd you kickstart that?
2011. I looked it up. That's how come I know.
Why did I turn around? My brain was like, don't turn around, Rim. But it was too late. My body was like,
Are you seeing a nice spot in your eye?
Actually, yeah.
That was actually on the highest setting.
That's a pretty good flashlight.
And it has 3 settings. It also has a blinking setting.
So is it going to be in stores? Can I just go buy it?
Maybe. I'll show you all the details of it later without putting it in your eye.
Well, I'm not going to turn around again.
It's in my bag now.
I still don't trust you. I'm not going to turn around again.
It overheats if you leave it in that setting too long.
Really?
Slightly, yeah. It has an auto off in the heat feature. So if it gets too hot, like if you leave it in a bag on by accident, it'll turn itself off. It's pretty amazing. But yeah. So, and if you've kickstarted something and it's been a long time since you've received it, odds are you're not gonna, but it's still possible. Don't lose hope and don't become impatient with anything ever, because there's a whole world of things, right? I mean, that new Ghost in the Shell show, that'll be out tomorrow pretty much.
Yeah. Actually, it'll be out in about a week.
Yeah. I'm not, what's the rush?
So all I got is... So my office, right? We talk about memes. Actually, we haven't talked about memes a lot on the show, but Scott and I have talked about memes for a long time. And, as a unit of information that spreads like a virus through humans, all that kind of stuff. When I say meme, I don't mean lolcat with impact font, though that is a meme. That is not what a meme means. Mm-hmm. But a meme made its way through my office, and I'm like watching it cultivate and grow. It's like a fishbowl. So one day, one of my coworkers just kind of whistles, a little tune like do 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 do, and a little thing. And unlike any other tune that's been whistled or anything like that, or even Gangnam Style, this just kind of got repeated around the office, kind of in a loop, and there weren't that many people in. And every day, as days go by, different people kind of just do it randomly and hum it. And people who weren't in the office before come in and they hear it, they replicate it out. Someone's doing it every 5 minutes now, unconsciously. And it's just do 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 do.
That's from a song, but I can't exactly put my finger on it right now.
So I'm going to keep tabs on this, and I'm curious if it's going to make it from me to other people.
It feels really familiar, like an old video game song or a portion of a song from something, a soundtrack.
But yeah, it might be some garbage pop song we just don't know the name of.
No, I think it's either from a video game or it's a sound effect or it's from an OST, like a portion of a song from an OST. I feel like the part after that goes like,
do 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 is what I think
No,
it goes.
I think
But
it's-
that part is not part of the meme.
I think
meme.
it's do 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 do. You know, something
See,
like that.
that's
something
not how
along
I
those
think it
lines.
goes. No one agrees on the second part, but the first part is just working around the office. Like one guy will hum it, and then like 10 minutes later, another guy will be walking around. He'll just kind of mutter it under his breath. Someone will whistle it. And at one point, one of my coworkers, like no one talks about it at all. Like after a week of this, it's just like, the fuck is that song? Ugh. And then a few days later, he's just sitting there and he's like, God damn it. It's Tuesday, February 5th, 2013. I'm Rim.
I'm Scott.
And this is Geeknights. Tonight, point-and-click adventure games. I can't believe we've never talked about these on Geeknights before.
Let's do this.
So what's up, Scott? You've been tantalizing
We should
me.
start the can't believe we haven't talked about these on Geek Nights before series. 'Cause that's pretty much the only place we're going to get new ideas.
Thing is, we've already talked about almost everything I can't believe we didn't talk about.
Simpsons did it. Geek Nights did it. Anyway, so, there's an old saying, the good things come to those who wait. And I know there's a lot of nerds out there, they don't like waiting for things. It's like, oh my God, they got to see the thing as soon as it comes out, or they got to go to the midnight screening.
You got to wait in line at Hall H to see the thing that's going to be on YouTube sooner
Gotta
than
play
you can
Portal
see
2
it.
at PAX because I can't play. Oh, wait, it's $5 now. Gee, oh my God, I have to wait for another season of Ponies. Well, guess what? At this time, we've already done that twice, and the third one's almost over already.
But at the same time, it's
the
easy to
waiting
forget
is
that.
the waiting is so short.
It is easy to forget that because, we were watching Ponies along, but then we had a lull.
Yep.
So Adventure Time has 4 whole seasons out, and we marathon through that shit like butter.
Yep.
I hit the end, it's like hitting a brick wall. Now I gotta wait a week for a half episode?
Yep. Well, I got to tell you, there's something I've been waiting for since 2011.
Okay, so Half-Life 3 longer than
Right?
that.
And I have it right now. Oh, that was totally worth waiting 2 years
Scott,
for.
I hate you so much.
That was worth waiting 2 years
I can't
for.
believe that exists. You have it in our house. You put it in my fucking eyeball.
You see how bright that shit was?
That was. So I'm waiting. I want to see.
Behind the Glippenrad Geschput. Oh, Flipperwald Geschput, whatever.
All right.
So, someone told me about this game called Dungeon Village. And on paper, this is amazing. It's a game where you don't go in the dungeon. You're not the adventurer. It's not even Racketeer where you're just the item shop owner. It's Sim Village that adventurers visit while they go adventuring outside the village.
It's not a genre. We had a whole panel at MagFest about genres, but sim something that normally is a thing you interact with in games, but is not the main part of the game, has always had a very nice warm spot in the middle of the cockles of my heart.
Indeed. So this is really, have you played Game Dev Story where you manage the game developers?
I'm pretty sure you made it a thing of the day.
Yeah, it's one of those stupid games where all you do is click, 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 and wait, click and wait, click and wait. But the advantage is there's nothing to pay money like stupid Farmville or Simpsons Farmville, right? It's just click and you just wait like a minute and you just keep clicking and keep waiting until you beat it. And that's all there is to it. So it's not, I hesitate to even call it a game. It's more just like a cute thing to poke while you've got nothing to do.
And you don't have a pet.
And it provides infinite pokes. It's like you can just keep poking it forever and ever and ever. And you watch the adventurers go out and fight monsters and bring back treasures and bring back money and go out and you can send them on quests. And
it's funny. This reminded me.
you build new buildings in the town. And the strategy is to put the inn, where it's just the building they go to the most, all the way down the road and then line the road with all the other buildings so that they have to walk past all the other buildings to get to the inn. So there's a greater chance.
Oh, Wanda Fireballs. Yeah, I can
They'll
use one of
stop
those.
in the item shop or something where you get a lot of money from them.
So it's Railroad Tycoon.
And you also had to put putting buildings next to each other, they boost each other. So if you put something next to the circus, it gets a big boost. And a circus also gets a boost.
So
it's a
Railroad
mutual
Tycoon.
boost.
You rode the roller coaster. Now you're hungry. $1,000 for a French fry.
And you can
and
also
it's in the way
you
of
can
the
also put
bathroom.
flowers next to buildings, which just boosts all adjacent nearby buildings and things like that. So
What's funny is this reminded me of a game that it's not like at all. So remember Fantasy Empires?
it's nothing like Fantasy
I know.
Empires.
You know why it reminded me of it? You remember that game?
Yeah.
One part of that game was you had your level 1 adventurers, like a fighter and a cleric and whatever. You could send them out on quests. And sometimes they just fucking die out there.
But
And
anyway-
sometimes they just come back with shit.
If you need something cute and dungeony to poke to waste time in your life and occupy your brain, and you don't want something that like makes you charge money to poke sooner, like The Simpsons Farmville, and you don't want to wait like an hour to be able to poke it more. You just want to be able to constantly poke forever and ever and ever. You should pay the couple bucks to get Dungeon Village or Game Dev Story if you haven't played that yet either. They're basically the same thing by the same company with different skins. So
I have a question for you. I'm trying something new for these kind of opening bits because I feel like you pointed this out. People are holding back game news announcements until maybe PAX because it's not that far away.
No.
But there's not a lot of game news.
E3 PAX coming
I mean,
soon.
I don't want to talk about OnLive continuing to try to exist. I don't have anything new to say about the Ouya that I haven't already said. There's nothing.
Lol, I got things to say about both of those. LOL and LOL. Okay,
yeah,
keep
nothing
going.
new. It's
Yeah.
kind of like Jack Thompson. They get something new.
Jack Thompson. Man, that name hasn't come up in a long
Something
time.
new, bigger than the last thing has to happen before I can talk about that thing again. So I have kind of a gaming question for you.